So like, if the whole idea is that to be pro-black, you only can date black women, it's stupid. Like, it would be smarter to be like, all right, we're gonna be pro-black, right? So in order to be like, to make it like the cause further, we're gonna breed with other groups of people. Because now once you can't be.
You're like on Braveheart. He said if we can't make them submit to us, then we'll breed them out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like dead ass. Like every other group went like that. You know, when they intertwine, you made it with them. They're not. What are you going to do? You're going to fight your father because he's pure-blooded this, and you're half. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, that would be the smart thing to do.
Unless you're invincible and your father's what's the father's name?
Omni-Man or something.
Omni-Man, yeah.
Yeah, and your DNA is just so powerful, it will overtake. Which, I mean, even though black people like to make that excuse, but it's not saying to that extent. But if I had a kid with a white woman, my child is still going to be considered black. Like, they're still going to consider my child black.
Pretty much.
Right. So it would make more sense to date out and breed with other groups of people. That way, and you eliminate this whole, well, you can't sit no one out because now you had to sit up. Like, it just wouldn't work. You're not going to have children fighting against their parents because one parent's black, the other one's a different ethnicity. And the child's not going to, fight one ethnic like over the other. They're not going to do that because it doesn't make sense. If you really like want to be so pro-black, that would be the smart thing. Breed with everyone. Since we like to make the argument our genes are more quote-unquote dominant, breed with everyone. make our genes the dominant genes. Duh.
I'm with it.
Like, that's white people do that shit. Well, white people talked about doing it for a long time. We're just gonna breed them out. And it's fair, it's not working for them anymore, but
clap everybody's cheeks.
I'm with it. I support the movement. Like, you can be pro-black and date whoever you please.
You Asian, I'm clapping them cheeks. I already do. I literally do. But anyway.
But no, it's just dumb. Like, what if Martin Luther King's wife was not Coretta Scott King? Like, what if Martin Luther King married a white woman? Would we like not celebrate his accomplishments?
It doesn't matter. They try to knock him anyway. That dumb bitch. There was some.
Oh yeah, I think her name like B. Simone or something.
Yeah, that stupid bitch from Wild 'N Out, which is a dumbass show anyway. But I'm not gonna get started on that. But I'm a Gen X, so the show just never related. But anyway, so she's like a D-level comedian. She has a little podcast or whatever, and she's sitting there just like dissing Martin Luther King, saying, first of all, we don't know whether he actually cheated on Coretta Scott King or not. That was part of that COINTELPRO bullshit that the FBI was doing to try to
discredit black leaders and try to blackmail him, actually, to try to get him to stop. So I don't know if it's true. But for the sake of argument, let's say it is. So that thing does not diminish what he did. The fact that he gave her the capability to be, basically even on the internet or other social media platforms to discuss her little stupid views, it kind of belies what she says about him not being a great man. Then she was calling him a nigga. Like, she was like, "You're not great, my nigga." I'm like, word? Okay. So, and the bitch is ugly. Like, she's projecting her feelings about getting dissed by men onto Dr. King. Like, I've made it, known I'm not attracted to black chicks, but the bitch is ugly even if I did still like black chicks. She got like the free cuts in the eyebrows trying to wild out. I mean, she had like the waves in her hair, like the crimps from like the 90s. Like, what the fuck is that? I mean,
I'm just dissing her, but yeah, but her views were just incoherent. So I didn't know I was going to even talk about that on the video because it's already been talked about enough in the manosphere. But yeah, B. Simone's is. But
yeah, I mean, even if it was true, let's hypothetically it was, somebody would have came out and said, "Hey, I'm his mistress by now."
And it was worse than that. The COINTELPRO was even saying that he was going to orgies where they were having like gay sex and this and that.
Because when I first heard it, because I just happened to be scrolling through and I seen it, and I was like, bro, you can't be that dumb. And then it gets worse.
Yeah, they can.
No, I'm saying the conversation, I watched the longer one, they were talking about it got worse.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just like, bro, how can you be that dumb? But at the same time, honestly, I'm not surprised. Because you can, as a black man, you can cure cancer, and it won't be enough.
You cure cancer, but I saw you with that bitch.
Pretty much. You can solve
cure that bitch. Cure cancer, but you can't cure that pussy, can you?
It's just wild. Like, it's never enough. You can solve world hunger, anything, and it still won't be enough. So at this point, honestly, I just tell brothers, you know what, man? If you, whatever you want to do, you want to be a truck driver, an electrician, a SoundCloud rapper, a mechanic, do whatever your heart's desire, man. Because no matter what you do, it's never going to be enough. Look at me. I done went, about to finish with a whole master's degree, about to start a PhD. I'm already in my career. I'm just under the magic 6-figure mark, and it's still ain't enough because I'm not 6 feet tall.
I don't know what to say.
And I don't have kids, and I don't have a record.
But that's because you still like black chicks. I don't give a fuck about them, so they don't bother me.
No, that's not just black. That's American women in general. I'm open to dating out. I already said this many a times. I'm open. I want to try all the flavors. All the flavors.
Like I said, Ling Ling, Rosemary, and Priya are down for the dick.
I am open to all the flavors. Middle Eastern,
Moana,
Asian, Latino, Southeast Asian. I'm with it. I'm with all of it. Even African. I'm with it. Like, because at this point, I mean, yeah, but, you know, I was in my early 20s. I'm pushing 30. Like, I'm starting to look at things different. Like, it sucks. It fucking sucks. But it's been an enjoyable ride, though. I mean, I have accomplished a lot of things, you know, that I'm proud of, and I'll be pretty young when I have my doctorate. I'll be pretty young. I'll only be like maybe 33, maybe. So I can play, and at this point, I think honestly, I should play in my 30s. Like,
but this is why I actually had a discussion with my friends back when we were in our early 20s. We were still in college. And I was like, man, I said, we would be suckers to get married right now. I was like, right now, the girls and I are equal. I said, but once we get out, we got degrees, we got careers. I said, once we're in our 30s, I said, our stock went up, their stock went down. That's our time to shine. And I actually lived by that, because I didn't get married until I was 39. Yeah. But
I don't blame you. Like I said, this whole year, I am traveling as much as I can.
And like I said, that whole
everything.
And back to what we were originally saying. Like, you don't have to date black to be pro-black. That doesn't make sense. That's incoherent. That you have to date black women to be down for the black community. Like, how is that? Like, I understand the sentiment, but it just doesn't make sense. Like, you know, criticizing people like Shannon Sharp or
Jordan Peele. Because he caught a lot, and that's the crazy thing. This man, who is arguably the most pro-black director you have right now, he's married to a white woman.
But he's biracial himself, so
right. But the fact he made Get Out, which is arguably one of the most pro-black thing you can, like, movie you can have. Like, don't get me wrong, Black Panther was dope, but Get Out like the stuff that Get Out touched on, and you know the things it talked about. That's probably the most pro black movie ever.
So yeah, it doesn't make sense. Or like when Ice Cube was getting attacked by Vivica Fox and her bunch of hyenas, saying, well, what about the black women? He said, well, black women are part of the community, because you know that's when he had brought up that agenda that.
Yeah, the black agenda, and that's the crazy thing, because he never specifically said just black men. It literally said the black agenda and black women. Yeah, like you said, black women. Like, well, what about black women? And that's why I always said black women alienated themselves from the black community.
Yeah, like I said, if I was still attracted to them, I wouldn't date them anymore, just for the fact that how they act. Like, I would just choose black women who are not American. So
I mean, that's depending on who you ask, you're dating the same thing.
Yeah, well, I've even said that, but like
no,
I'm
not saying. No, I mean just attitude wise and everything. You're just dating the same thing with an accent.
Yeah, well, I literally just said that, like, you know, before we were on camera. But no, you know, I guess Afro-Latinas are a better alternative, and some Africans are as well.
But no, that's what I was saying. Like, not necessarily the language, but you're getting the same attitude.
But I mean, the ones who come from a different culture, like I said, like if they come from a Latin, Hispanic culture, or they come from like
I'll put it like that,
a African culture where we don't come from, not because the African culture we come from has the same problems, but
I know what you mean. Unless I put it like this, unless they're fresh off the boat, good luck. I'll put it like that.
I'm all about the fobs. Like that's the only way. That's the only way I would date Americans. They gotta be fobs. Like fresh off the boat. Like they just jumped off that bitch. Like, whew, it is different here.
That is racist. And you gotta get flagged.
I don't even know I don't even know that was an African accent or whatever.
It doesn't matter. Somebody's gonna get mad about it.
But that's why there's an editing tool.
That is true. but you're right. Like, and what made it worse with the Ice Cube situation was, for me anyway, was that people like got mad because he talked to the man who's the current president at the time. And I'm like, look.
Oh, Agent Orange.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm like, but it doesn't matter because there was no guarantee Sleepy Joe was going to win.
Yeah,
anyway.
he reached out to both.
And Sleepy Joe's team said, we'll talk to you after the election. Agent Orange team said, what's up?
Yep.
Set up a time and date. So you got to pick one. Like,
Agent Orange, all you have to do is kind of like stroke his ego, and
he'll do whatever you want. Like literally, you know what? I like your toupee, sir.
Oh yeah, you know I get those coif. You know what I'm saying?
What can I do for you?
Got some art. I got some gold flakes going through. You see that shit?
Yeah, I see it.
That's that balling shit. You can't get that.
I see anywhere. You, Bit T. I see you, Bit T.
You know, you're right.
You right. What can I do for you? What you need? And boom. Like, it's that simple. It's just wild, bro. And I don't know. I just gave up. Like, to be the most educated group, the lack of critical thinking.
Which is not true at all, which goes into my other video, guys, that you should watch, statistical terms that people use wrongly. Obviously, they don't know how to use statistics, so they would know that they're not the most educated fucking group. The most educated group are Asian Americans, and if you want to go into specifics, it used to be Nigerian women, if you're going to talk about black women. Not all black women, Nigerian women. So, most people are statistically illiterate, including them, the most educated group. But I'm going to wrap this up. And we'll probably get into more about Save Yourself Black Men at another time. All right.